Absolute Flash number 5, written by Jeff Lemire, art by A.L. KAPLAN. So different artists than usual on this one.
Same artist as last time though, so it's been Nick Robles for the first, I think, 3 issues, and then Kaplan took over for the Central City arc. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, you're right.
This is very familiar here. Yeah, we're getting into the rogues, right? So both Absolute books really getting into the rogues here. This one not nearly as much as Batman, right? But we get to see what this version of Heatwave can do.
Right.
And oh man, it is kind of brutal. Just a living molten lava man.
Yeah, I think it was an issue or 2 ago that we kind of got the thing that happened in Absolute Batman, which is the different containers in the facility showing all the names and such. So this just feels like one step ahead. This feels like, all right, well, now we're going to start exploring what does specifically Heatwave mean in the Absolute universe. I guess I'll kind of balance out that sort of stuff with the first. So I caught up entirely on Absolute Flash. I really hadn't been reading it up to this point. So I did it all at once here. First 3 issues, I kind of got the vibes that you guys talked about, where it felt like we were just kind of standing in place for a while. It didn't feel like much was actually happening. Issue 4, it felt like we made a big jump forward. It felt like, okay, we're at Iron Heights. We introduced all these new characters, new things to do. This feels to me like we're still standing in place with the last issue, though. It doesn't feel like we've actually continued that forward momentum.
I feel like Lemire has a pattern at this point with the Flash. So we're going to jump in. We're going to see what he's capable of, which, he has so many plates spinning, I almost understand. But at a point, I want to ask him, what's with spinning all the plates? We don't need to spin that many, Jeff. Like, you're very good at these smaller stories. Like, all of the stories that I've read of his that have really stood out are very focused, and they have a very singular trajectory. Here, I feel like sometimes it's an almost choose your own, right? Where you can really focus in on the rogues, or you can focus in on Wally, and either or, which I guess takes some skill, but as we're reading month to month, it does put a damper on it.
Yeah, that's kind of the biggest thing that I was feeling, is that we, throughout the first issues and even this one as well, is we keep on getting these kind of, forget the pun here, but flash forwards. We get these sort of skips ahead where it feels like he's experiencing something either outside of time or a different timeline or a future or something like that. And it feels like Lemire has a really big plan. It feels like this is all, when you read it all at once, it's going to be a mastercraft where it's all going to pan out. But in the month to month, it doesn't feel like anything is happening. It feels like we're so focused on what's happening 10 issues from now that we're not doing anything here.
Yeah. And that's the thing, I feel like, where it's small, because we do get a little bit of progression with Wally here. The willingness to put on the suit here, even though he associates it with Barry's death, or what we think is Barry's death. And then just the stuff with Grodd, where I feel like we should trust him, but just because it is a Grodd,
right?
I'm a little bit hesitant, but it does seem like Grodd wants to help, so that's been consistent as well. So there's been these little developments, but yeah, it's not month to month. I don't feel like it's making the big enough jumps to make it keep that momentum. And I feel like in a Flash book, that's what you really want, is that momentum to keep going.
Plus, I mean, I feel like in reading it, I was thinking, okay, how are we going to wrap up? Like, what's going to be the cliffhanger for Flash? What's going to be the problem as we leave? And I'm looking at the last thing that we get for Wally, and it's just Heatwave attacks again. Like, and then we go back to the facility and we deal with a bunch of more stuff there. But like, that's the sort of thing where it doesn't feel like this is really focused on Flash as much as this is focused on everything tangential to him a lot more.
Well, and here too, his powers, I still don't feel like we have a good grasp on by design, because when Heatwave, hits him while he's in the Flash suit, and he's working with Grodd, and Grodd tells him, like, we're not going to stop him, we need to help him. And he tells him to take the heat. And it's almost like he's taking all of this energy and siphoning it off. Almost like Parasite over in the main DC universe.
Yeah,
Because then he ends up in that weird spot, right, where there's a hand coming out at him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's going to be the thing for the Absolute Flash, is that his thing is not so much speed. He's fast, but I think that his thing is going to be more energy based. I think that's going to be the pivot.
Because, you know, when he waves on the ground, right, I don't get the vibe that he still has the powers. It's almost like Wally's taking it from him. And that's where, again, I start to feel the hesitation from Grodd. Because I know what Grodd's about. Like, is Grodd just... Is it going to be revealed that he's, you know, having him harvest all of these in the vein of helping? Right? But he's taking pieces off the board, kind of.
Yeah.
Which I hope not, because I really like this Grodd. He's adorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, we still get the teenage angsty Wally here.
Yeah, I like him as a character. I like the fact that they have fully fleshed out this sort of character who he doesn't know what the right thing to do is implicitly. He has panic attacks. He's very anxious and whatnot. But I just want them to do more. I like the character they set up. I just want them to spend more time exploring him. Like the fact that we get pretty much nothing on Ralph or Sue Dibney here. We get a little bit that they're heroic to a fault, but not so much. But we get more from the director of the Rogues, Thawne, forgetting what her first name is, but she's getting more development, I feel like, at this point than Wally does. Yeah.
Well, it's almost like he's a supporting character in his own book.
Yes, exactly.
At this point. And you never want that in Flash. Even, I don't know if you read the whole John's run back with Wally. Back from the mid 2000s.
Nope.
He had a very good supporting cast, but Wally was always front and center. You know? And so I feel like sometimes with the Flash, again, this is LeMire spinning so many plates, right? Where we start to lose it a little bit where, all right, but what's Wally up to? Like, yeah, he's a kid having panic attacks, but like, I don't need to see Thawne again so soon after just getting that bomb dropped last time, right? Letting that sit. That said, I do love the Rogues, right? I just have an inherent love of them. So to see their dynamic a little bit here, where it seems like there's something up with Trickster. Because Trickster's still wearing that mask.
Yeah.
Around them all. And Glider takes umbrage with something that Trickster says. So that dynamic of, you know, they are a group of coworkers. I think that, again, Lemire's nailing, but this isn't a Rogues book. It's Flash.
Right.
So let's spend some more time with Wally here.
Who did that? Who did the Rogues book that was Black Label all that time ago?
Williamson,
that's right.
Yes, the heist book where they go into Gorilla City.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so good.
Yep. So obviously, you know, there's not a lot happening this issue, as we said, but it does end on a reveal that maybe you have more Flash knowledge than I do. This feels like something that's pulling from a completely separate corner. It doesn't feel like a Flash thing.
No, this looks like a Martian.
So his dad comes into some back room, scans his card, comes across a UFO, and some door opens up next to him, and we see at least 3 tubes containing, what seem to be Martians. The only downside to that is we have a Martian book. We have the Martian Manhunter book. Yeah.
Because I'm just looking at the shape of the heads, right? And so I'm wondering if this is what they're going to try to spin as like Roswell or whatever. Because his dad's working for the government. It's almost like a Area 51 kind of thing. So I'm wondering if this is something more to do with that. But if that's the case, how does that tie to Flash? Because these look like Martians. There's 3 of them. But, you know, like you said, we already have an absolute Martian Manhunter, and it's nothing. The Martians aren't like this.
Yeah.
Granted, we don't know if he's a Martian though. We just know he's a Manhunter.
Yeah,
in that book.
The one thing I do want to say though is only because I am far too knowledgeable about the New 52 is that these kind of remind me of what some artists made Damonites look like. Those were like they were over from the Stormwatch sort of side of things, but they kind of look like that. I don't feel like they would be pulling in some Wildstorm properties into this though.
That'd be super weird to do, Because when I hear Day Knight, I automatically think Wildcats.
Right.
And we already did that where they tried to merge those into the proper DCU.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if that's what they are, because I was thinking, like, also, I'm running through all the different alien species that I know from DC. And I'm like, is this going to be their version of a Dominator or whatever? And then I was thinking, they also kind of look like Salak from the Green Lantern Corps.
Oh, yeah.
Except it only has the 4 limbs instead of all of them. So yeah, this definitely made me go, what the hell? As I was reading.
Just another plate up on the stick there.
Yep, just another one, and he's spinning them, man. So between this and Justice, I don't know if you're reading his Justice Society.
Not really. I gave like the first 3 issues, yeah.
Yeah. However many issues we are in, I feel like we're closer to 11.
Yeah, like 9 or 10, yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah. It's a lot of the same. There's one really good issue because it was focused. It was on Wildcat's funeral.
Right.
And and now this one is just, it's kind of more the same, and I want to see LEMIRE and go, hey bud, focus. I know what you're capable of, man.
Yeah.
Underwater Welder is fantastic. So but yeah, and again, the art by KAPLAN is pretty solid. I mean, it's not Robles, but it's still, I mean, the sequence where Wally's fighting, not even fighting, trying to help Heatwave, with all of the kind of purples, pinks, yellows, oranges, that whole vibe to really nail the heat. And then when he goes to that, wherever he goes, that other realm, the Speed Force or whatever, all the soft blues, there's just this contrast that when you get to there where it feels a lot more calm, almost like this is almost like his Zen happy place kind of vibe.
The Zen happy place that has a giant menacing hand coming out of a portal.
A giant menacing hand, although it stops when he says no, stop.
That's
right?
True. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's quiet and compared to all the chaos that we just had. So again, some really good storytelling in the art there. But yeah, just I wish the rest of the storytelling was just as solid as the art.
Yeah, no, I definitely think the art is good. I will say, you said it's not Nick Robles' art, and I do agree, but that there's one very specific thing that just got me was Robles does a very special. I've only ever seen him do it this style with the eyes, and KAPLAN is really trying to imitate that, and it's just not coming across the same way. Like the eyes just have something weird about them.
It makes it look like we're back in the scene days in the mid 2000s, and everyone's wearing eyeliner.
Right. Yeah. The eyelashes are very pronounced.
Yep. And I just feel like just let KAPLAN do his thing and not try to ape that style. But again, I don't know what the directive is. There, where maybe that's a thing that I couldn't imagine LEMIRE calling for, right? Yeah. So maybe he's just trying to. KAPLAN's just trying to homage the main artist.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Trying to fit a similar style at the very least.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, it's especially pronounced on Golden Glider. On that it's not quite a close up, but the 3/4, right?
Yeah.
Where it looks like she's got tarantula eyes.
Yeah, it was a double whammy because it was that, and then on the previous page there's a close up of Ralph Dibny who has the exact same thing, and I'm just like, what's going on with your eyes, man?
Get some sleep, bud.
Yep. All right. Ratings. What would you give Absolute Flash number 5?
I'm going to give Absolute Flash 5 a straight 7. Because, again, it's spinning plates. It's kind of sitting, standing in place. But there's enough there that I'm going to keep going.
All right. Yeah, I'd say I agree. I think a 7's pretty much where it's coming from. I still view it as a good book. I don't think it has done anything to betray my trust or think that it is not going to get somewhere at some point. But I think that this is kind of what I agree with when people complain about decompression in comics. This is the point where when this trade is collected, I'm not sure how much of a story we're really going to have by the time it's done.